Good evening, Renee Rico, independent journalist reporting live here in Albany in the capital region of the state of New York at the eastern end of Route 90, the Thruway. Mario Murillo is in town bringing his Fire and Glory tour, holding a Night of Miracles meeting, and you may hear the music in the background. Last time we caught up with Mario was in Batavia, New York at the western end of the New York State Thruway. Is Mario retracing the steps of the famous evangelist Charles Finney back in the 1800s, who also held meetings off of Route 90 in the New York State Thruway? Let's take a look at a historical video we created a few years back on this topic. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Renee Rico, citizen journalist from Rochester, New York. Is history repeating itself here in Western New York? What does Mario Murillo and Charles Finney have in common?
What exactly happened in Western New York when the historical figure Charles Finney came to visit this region, in particular Rochester, New York, and how does that relate to Mario Murillo today? Charles Finney visited Rochester in the 1830s and 1850s. He was a lawyer by trade, and lawyers are trained to look at all sides of a matter and make their case. Charles Finney became an evangelist and held powerful revival meetings in the city of Rochester and surrounding towns. Revival fire broke out first in the upper class of Rochester society and continued to make its way throughout all of society. It is reported that crime dropped dramatically in the city. Jails were no longer full, and many hearts were changed permanently. Some who converted during these fires of revival went on to become community leaders. In contrast to the Finney revivals, which, as we said, started in the high society of Rochester, this revival has started in a small town in the country, Batavia, New York, located between Rochester and Buffalo, in a little church with a humble servant leader pastor and everyday people with open hearts. In his era, it is recorded that Charles Finney coined the phrase, the burned-over district. The burned-over district was in central and western New York and was so named due to the widespread spiritual awakenings of the 19th century in this region. Current-day evangelist Mario Murillo from California appears to have a similar anointing for spiritual awakenings as Charles Finney did. He makes an unapologetic case for salvation and speaks boldly about the time and culture we are living in today. Enter the partnership of Pastor Paul Doyle of Cornerstone Church in Batavia, New York, and Mario Murillo. Mario has picked up the mantle of tent revival meetings, holding a number of meetings in cities in California along Highway 99. Highway 99 has been dubbed the Corridor of Glory. Mario Murillo has called this place here in Western New York ground zero for revival. There are many people in this region who have said that they have been praying for a spiritual awakening here in New York State for years, even decades.
Perhaps the towns and cities along Route 90, the New York State Thruway, starting here in Batavia, will once again become ablaze and be the next burned-over district for this revival. Stay tuned.